Let's go. Let's get this going here. Now, listen. As you see there in our on the screen, you see that Lee University, which is a Church of God university, has having their commencement exercises this weekend. The 190th commencement ceremonies on May 3rd and 4th, and Dr. Nancy Hill, professor of education at Harvard University, returns, which means she's been there before, to speak for the graduates there at Lee University. And so let's show you here a little bit what. Let's give you her information here, so you can know just what's going on. Just what's going on here. Now, there she is there in the center of your screen. To the left of your screen, you see there the Lee University commencement exercise. And also you see there in the box, and we'll hit those in one moment there, several of her latest tweets on her Twitter page, and we'll show that to you in a moment. See what she's an advocate for and all like that. In the biographical outline, the vitae, if you will, that the Lee University put out, they left out a whole little chunk of information. So could have been a mistake, could have been intentional, who knows? But nonetheless, let's go ahead and read this here. And you can read along with me. Dr. Nancy Hill to speak at Lee University, made commencement. And then parentheses, this is my input here, but hello on Dr. Nancy Hill's recent tweets showing her support for Roe v. Wade and her organization, SRCD, which is an organization that advocates for children and adolescent transgenderism rights. Lee University will hold its 190th commencement ceremonies May 3rd and 4th. Dr. Nancy Hill, professor of education at Harvard University, returns to campus to deliver the commencement address on Saturday morning at 9:30. Hill also spoke at the university's 2016 graduation. Hill is a nationally renowned developmental psychologist whose research focuses on parenting and adolescent development. She is also the author of The End of Adolescence, The Lost Art of Delaying Adulthood, which focuses on the experiences and mindsets youth need as they transition, and that's a key word right there, transition from adolescence into adulthood. Her program of research focuses on two areas: the ways in which demographic background interact and impact youth opportunities for upward mobility, and on the relational supports and mechanisms associated with adolescents' emerging sense of purpose and views of the economy as they influence post-secondary transitions to college and career. Dr. Hill was a recipient of the William T. Grant Foundation's Distinguished Faculty Fellowship to support her engagement with the Massachusetts Executive Office on Education under Governor Deval Patrick. She was also awarded the Ernest Hilgard Award for lifetime contributions to psychology from the American Psychological Association. Graduation festivities will begin with a hooding ceremony for students earning graduate degrees. This service is a ticketed event and will take place at Pangle Hall on Friday, May 3rd. Following the Friday hooding ceremony, all graduates will march in the commissioning service on the South Campus Quad Lawn. During commissioning, a special occasion for students and their families to reflect on their experiences at the university. 5 student speakers will share brief stories about their time at Lee. Students will also lead an invocation, special music, and benediction. Each graduate will be presented with a personalized Bible and a traditional walk across the stage. On Saturday morning, there will be 420 undergraduate and 87 graduate students receiving degrees during the ceremony. Of the 87 graduate degrees, 8 are doctoral students. Saturday's commencement ceremony is the official conferral of degrees in recognition of academic achievement. Each graduate will cross the stage and be congratulated by Lee President Dr. Mark Walker. As provost, Dr. Debbie Murray recognizes each student by name. All right, you better watch that as well. Now let's get into some more here with Dr. Hill. Yes, let's go here now. Watch this. Let's go over here to her organization. Her organization here. Her organization is SRCD. This is her organization that she's the president of. This is the SRCD, which stands for, let's make sure we want to get that right. Society for Research in Child Development. Society for Research in Child Development. She's quite a learned lady. This is a recent statement a few years ago. SRCD, statement in support of transgender and gender diverse children and youth. I'm going to enlarge that just a little bit for you. Let's read this. Is right off her website. As developmental scientists, we are alarmed at the recent rise in state legislation across the United States that would harm the health and well-being of more than 45,000 transgender and non-binary children and youth. While these legislative efforts are varied, we see them as consistently rooted in long-standing, persistent, destructive bias and discrimination against transgender people. Transgender children and youth are at heightened risk for experiencing violence and harassment. In a recent survey, 54% of transgender and gender diverse youth reported being verbally harassed. 24% were physically assaulted. 13% were sexually assaulted. 17% left school because of maltreatment. Research indicates that transgender and non-binary children and youth are more vulnerable to depression, anxiety, and engaging in self-harm, including suicide, than their cisgender peers. The legislation being proposed includes limiting access to gender-affirming healthcare, including puberty blockers, hormone treatment, and surgery, in some cases regardless of parental consent, forbidding students from using the restroom at school consistent with their gender identity, preventing transgender youth participation in sports, requiring school employees to inform parents about their child identifying as transgender, and more. Transphobic policies and practices run counter to research that documents the critical impacts of gender-affirming healthcare, supportive communities, and protective school policies for transgender children and youth. Their access to and use of affirming medical and social interventions improve their health and development and reduce their long-term psychological risk, including the risk of suicide. Policies and practices that exacerbate environments for transgender children and youth therefore have the potential of leading to greater harassment, mental distress, and increases in suicidality. The Society for Research in Child Development is committed to advancing developmental science and promoting its use to improve human lives. Developmental science makes clear that access to medical services and supportive, gender-affirming environments benefit the health and well-being of the transgender youth and children. That is from Dr. Nancy E. Hill, PhD, SRCD President, and Sima K. Hedrick, MPH, SREC Executive Director. There you see her picture there. That is a speaker there at the Lee University commencement exercises this weekend at Lee University of Cleveland, Tennessee. Also now, if you will, go over to her, Dr. Hill's Twitter, or X, if you will, her X page. Let's go up to the top so you can just make sure that you can see this for yourself. This is her. All right, let's go on over there. Boom, bam, boom. There we go. There we go. There she is. You can also, her Twitter page is active. She actually has two, her personal one, and then also the one for the SRCD, which is actually the one she's doing a lot of posting on regularly, even up until just a few hours ago. But it is at Prof. Nancy Hill, at PROF Nancy Hill, psychologist, Harvard professor, expert on adolescent development, new book on delaying adulthood, so on and so forth. Cambridge, Massachusetts, NancyEHill.com is her website. There she is. Now check this out. A couple of her tweets that just kind of give you some context of who she is. Want to know more about the impact of overturning Roe v. Wade? The evidence is being presented by Presidential Working Group at SRCD Tweets Now at SCRD23. And you see Roe v. Wade ensured federal protection for the right to choose. As you know, during the Trump administration, that was sent back to the states. So it's a state's issue, but she says it's a problem, and she's on part of a presidential working group with the Biden administration. She's actually a part of a couple different committees and everything with the Biden administration. Also, we see here, you see another one. She said, yeah, there she goes. We see that. You see some of that there. Now, there's a couple other tweets that she had here I want to highlight just real quick. Let's go over here. I want you to see this. All right. Let's go share this tab right here. Let's make this a little bigger. There we go. And then, boom, there we go. All right. Now, check this out. Says here, one tweet. It's from September 9, 2022. Looking forward to the SRCD 2023. That's her organization. Biennial meeting. I can't wait to explore Salt Lake City. Check out the queer scene here. Okay. We saw that one, the one about Roe v. Wade. Here's another tweet that she posted. How do we get transdisciplinary multi-sector research funded? Panel on funding, holistic development science, SRCD tweets. In other words, she's trying to get funding for a transgender disciplinary for adolescents, high school, and college as well. Let's see. Another tweet. So excited to hear about the transdisciplinary and multi-sector research that Ferguson Lab is doing and how they do this work. Okay. All right. Then another one down there says, so excited to kick off Holistic Development Sciences Special Topics meeting. It is great to be together. I can't wait to see what new transdisciplinary and multi-sector ideas are generated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you see right there, that is the speaker, Dr. Nancy E. Hill. That's the speaker for the Lee University commencement this weekend, Saturday, May 4th, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. That's who is coming to Lee University. What I ask you to do is I ask you to share this information. Share this information with those you know who will be concerned Those who need to know, a lot of the lay members of the Church of God have no idea. Probably a lot of the ministers and pastors have no idea how this great, learned, scholarly Professor Nancy E. Hill, how did she end up at a Christian Pentecostal University graduation ceremony? How did she end up being the speaker? Inquiring minds would like to know. I'm sure it's going to be an incredible motivational type speech for those college graduates, even though it seems that she mostly works with children and adolescents. But nonetheless, hey, congratulations to all those graduates. Congratulations to everybody that's being a part of that. If you have any questions down, put the comments down below while we're here. We'll give you a couple minutes. But that is basically, we want to share that with you. And I want you to share this with everybody you know, because the world needs to know, the church needs to know. Yeah, there she is right there. There she is right there. Nice, sweet, look like a sweet lady. She really does. Sweet lady. And you can't. I mean, you talk about a fish out of water. You think, how did that happen? Inquiring minds would definitely want to know, but nonetheless, it's happening, y'all. It's happening. She is an advocate for the transgender rights and availability, et cetera, and access for children and adolescents. Somebody told me today, they said, well, not for adults. I said, well, adults can do what they want to do, but now with children, it's a whole different bag there. But nonetheless, this is who's coming to Lee University this weekend to speak. This is who's coming. This is who has been picked. This is who has been selected. Professor Nancy E. Hill of Harvard University. Put your comments down below. Before we go, if you'd like to be a supporter of what we're doing here at the RCTV Network and Church of God Equity, you can go, if you have PayPal, Venmo, you can go at the RCTV Network, If you have Cash App, you can do $ the RCTV Networks with the S. And if you have cryptocurrency you would like to donate, you can also go at Rob Carpenter II. And also, if you like another interesting way, fun way that you can do that, you can always do the what we call Buy Me a Coffee. Buy Me a Coffee. Go to buymeacoffee.com/RCTV Network. For just $5, you can sponsor a coffee once a month or once every 2 weeks or just one time, however you want to set it up, you can do that. And that will greatly support what we're doing. Everything helps. Everything matters. Everything helps us continue to do what we're doing here. We're excited. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like to watch some of our material, our messages, motivational speaking in our podcast, you can always watch us on the RCTV Network, on Roku, also on any platform. And also, don't forget this weekend, Real Talk with the RN Diva Pastor Robert podcast, wherever you podcast this weekend. God bless you. I'll be out of here. Send your comments if you have any. We definitely would like to hear from them, hear from you. Always, we love to get the feedback. And we also, again, thank you so much for your support with what we're doing here. Keep us in your prayers. We're always under attack, but the more we're under attack, the more we keep going. You know what I mean? You got to keep going. This is Pastor Robert, El Carmen Segment. And you have a wonderful day, evening, night. God bless.